We've talked about the types of verbs all year as we've worked on diagramming sentences and using our sentence patterns. So to quickly review those, we have three types: linking, action, which are the two that we use to use our sentence patterns: subject plus linking verb plus PA, subject plus action verb plus DO. And then we also occasionally, actually very often, have helping verbs. We do not use these as separate naming of verbs because there isn't a sentence pattern that goes with helping verbs. So they are either going to be in front of a linking verb or in front of an action verb, hence its name. It's always helping another verb. And so those are the three types of verbs. What we got into more in the last couple weeks is talking about different types of verbs. So that's what I want to focus on right now to review for your upcoming test. So we have three specific tenses: simple, progressive, and perfect. And we talked about some different ways that we could identify each of those tenses to make it a little easier on ourselves. Within these three tenses, they can always be in three other tenses: present, past, or future. And so what we use verbs and sentences for is to show the time of an action or the time of the state of being. And so the verb is important, but also the context, which is why we always look at prepositional phrases and those other things. So in the first example sentence that we did, we have I eat bacon and eggs every day for breakfast. The main verb is eat, and the context helps us understand the present tense form of this. Now, the way I try to help you remember simple is when I think of something that's simple, it's really easy. And so simple tenses are supposed to be very easy. They're really one word. They don't have helping verbs, with the exception of our future tense verbs, because future tense verbs always have the helping verb will. Because it hasn't happened yet, it will happen. And that's going to be true for all three tenses. So when we get rid of that will, we're always going to be left with one verb. So if we were going to redo this sentence here, oops, in past, I ate bacon and eggs. My context, to help us understand that it was in the past, I could put yesterday for breakfast. Okay, so our main verb is still one word, ate, and it's a simple tense. It tells us that it happened in the past, though. And then our last sentence, if I wanted to say it in the future, I will eat bacon and eggs tomorrow for breakfast. My verb becomes will eat, and so I see that I have a helping verb, and since it's the helping verb will, I know that it's going to be future. And so when I take off that helping verb, oops, I'm left with one main verb, and that tells me that it's a simple tense. I will eat bacon. So those are the simple tenses. So we have simple present, simple past, and simple future. Then we got into talking about progressive tense. And progressive tense, we looked at the little word inside of there, progress. Means that something is in progress. It shows an action that is in progress. And what we're going to look at to help us remember these is that there's going to be a helping verb that's the form of be. So we have am, is, and are, were, and will, of course, we already just talked about, indicates future tense, and so be is going to be the other helping verb we'll look for. So all of our progressive tenses have that helping verb, but they also have the suffix ing. So if I'm looking at a sentence and I want to decide the verb tense, I would look at, is there a helping verb? What is the helping verb? And what's the suffix at the end? And so for progressive tense, we look for the helping verb am, is, are, were, be, and the suffix ending ing. And so we did a little practice in class of writing verbs like that. So I'm not going to go over that again. The next tense is perfect tenses. And again, these can be present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. And so what we look for is the helping verb that is a form of has or have or had. Will again indicates future, so we're looking at will have as the helping verb. The past participle we talked about for regular verbs ends in the suffix ed. Okay, so has called or have called, had called or will have called. For fish, we could say has or have fished, had fished in the past, or will have fished in the future. The problem comes with these irregulars. For example, cost. I wouldn't say has costed. It's an irregular, and so we don't really add an ed to the end of it to change its form. It actually stays the same. Had cost or will have cost. So our main identifying feature here is going to be that it's got a helping verb that's the form of has or have. Okay. So the next screencast that I'm going to do, we'll actually do the worksheet that we practiced this, and that would be a better way for you to study for the verb test that you're going to have on Thursday.